Every person has a superpower that they rarely utilize, and it really comes down to your own creation. The person you are, the person you like to be, and the person you want to become are all different characters that shape the reality around you. And for me, I've learned a lesson that based on my character, I get to have certain advantages that other people don't, and other people have advantages that I never will because they have aspects of a character that I'm not willing to play and experience within the world. And if you understand your character, you can also do this. I am Terrell Banks. I'm a personal trainer who trades Forex and likes to tell my life story. I'm trying to turn my life into a movie so that I can show you the hardships I'm going through, the lessons I learned to get past the hardship so that you can save yourself time, energy, and effort, as well as grow and create your own life movie. That's my life philosophy. That's my goal. And I hope you're ready for another lesson. So today we're going to be talking about the power of your character and how it allows people to do certain things. And the specific thing that I get to do due to my character is be more demanding of other people than most other people get the chance to. And the reason this is because I'm a very, to a degree, soft-spoken person. I tend to keep quiet, but I'm very friendly with most people. So most people are not taken aback by me being demanding. They're kind of like, oh, the quiet dude kind of spoke up. Yeah, let's just roll with that because he doesn't do this. And it was something that my manager actually told me where I had done a handful of consultation meetings and I was kind of just like, well, they said no, like they rejected the offer, but I didn't do any rejection overcomes. And at some point he was like, you know, why don't you just try and speak up a little bit more? Like, you know what, go try and sell some Crunch One kickoffs, like actually get people on consultation meetings, and let's see if being a little bit more demanding works. And so like, I really still didn't know how to bridge the gap of having these conversations yet. And I realized like every person that I talk to, it usually opens up with me being like, hey, come over here. And people would just do it. And since he was like, be a little bit more demanding, just tell people what you want them to do, and more than likely they're going to listen. I was like, okay, cool. Let me just try. So I walked over, leaned on the counter at the front desk at the gym, and I literally turned to the first person walking out of the gym and I was like, yo, come over here. And they like pointed at themselves. I pointed out and said, hey, come over here. And they were like, okay. They walked over, we chopped it up for a few minutes, and I actually got them on a Crunch One kickoff. So I went back and I was like, hey, it's weird, but I mean, all I did was tell him, come over here. I just tried to be demanding, and he went with it. And he was like, well, you are a quiet, soft-spoken person. That's not you being demanding. That's just you putting out an option, an opportunity for someone. They could have just said no, but you just told them this is what you want them to do, so they chose to do it because of your personality. And so this is the main key. If you can become a character who demands respect, then you can actually have the ability to be more demanding. And that's the ability I've been able to garner. Now, how do you actually shape the character who can do this? Well, first off, you need to decide what life you want to live. Without a destination, without an end goal, there's no way for you to actually conceptualize becoming someone new. If you think you're going to become someone new and live the exact same life, you're completely wrong. But the point is, if you're trying to achieve anything without becoming someone new, then you're shit out of luck. And so when you're on this journey to actually gain the power of your character, this is the first thing. Build a dream vision. Know exactly where you want to go, exactly what you want to do, exactly who you want to be around, the character traits and the qualities of the people around you, of your relationships, of your friendships. Know your finances, know everything. Because if you can break down the life you want to live to a T, then the character you need to play in order to live that life will become so much more clear. So for me, I want to be an online entrepreneur, currency trading, real estate mogul who creates content and speaks to the world. Now that's a lot, but let's break it down. I want to be a currency trader, a Forex trader specifically. I've been working on it for 5 years and that's not going to change. So there's certain traits that person has. Okay, cool. So need to be disciplined, need to have good risk management, need to be good with numbers, good with money, blah. Now that I have these character traits, then we look at, I want to be an online entrepreneur. So what are the traits of an entrepreneur? Okay, boom, 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 and I need to do it online. Then I want to create content covering those things. So now I need to be someone comfortable on camera. I need to be able to speak. I need to be able to engage people. I need to be able to teach people, and I need to be able to bring value online. Real estate mogul, I need to make a lot of money. So I need to be someone who's good with asset management, money management, knowing about the stock market. I need to be knowledgeable. I need to be able to network. And once I have all these things, everything broken down of who I want to be and the life I want to live, now I actually decide what traits I'm going to take to begin to become the person who has all those traits and lives that life I want to live. So we've broken down exactly how to create the character and what being that character actually means. But now we take it one step further and actually look at, well, where am I compared to this character? What mannerisms am I missing? What mannerisms do I have? Where am I similar? Where am I different? How can I improve? How can I be better? There's a lot of questions you get to ask yourself. And if you want my entire breakdown, I have an entire course on it. If you want it, the link is in the description. Feel free to check it out. But once you're at the point of knowing the character you want to be, then you can start to look around at the world and see other people having other character traits and those giving them superpowers. For example, I'll use the situation of a quiet girl who's very sweet, loves to make pies for the people around her. With a woman like that, anybody and everybody under the sun is going to go out of their way to try and protect her. Because if a woman is sweet, small, docile, and just tries to help everybody, nobody under the sun is going to allow her to face any hardship or deal with any person being rude without going out of their way to make sure they've done their best to make sure she's good. And I keep saying to make sure. But point is, you then get to start building your own superpower list. For example, me, I'm not the most social talkative person, though I can do it. But at the same time, I'm never uncomfortable going up and encouraging somebody to do anything. So I started going around the gym, giving fist bumps every day. And now, one, I see people out at bars, at restaurants, whatever, and they'll come up and give me a fist bump because of the fact that I do it at the gym. But then two, a lot of people have been giving me a lot of praise, saying that I encourage them and I make the gym better. And that's a superpower. I have a certain level of notoriety from doing something that most people would be afraid of doing because I simply didn't care, because I want to be someone who encourages everybody. Another superpower I could definitely have is overwhelming belief from people because of my willingness to be blunt and honest and take accountability for certain things. And I think this is a superpower everybody should develop, because having accountability as one of your character traits gives you a whole new level of success. And the reason I say this is there's been multiple times where I've gotten caught up doing something I shouldn't or messing up really bad. And before even being told that I did any wrong, I will admit it very quickly and get people on my side. For example, for a little while, I had the nickname of Crash Bandicoot, specifically because of the fact I was training this one kid while I was driving a truck at Amazon. And we got to this apartment complex where there was no way to turn around because there was like 4 people behind us. We didn't have space to back into a parking spot. And there was an overhang that said it should have been about 13 feet. And the top of my bus was at 11. And so I was like, all right, we're not supposed to go through these, but it should be low enough to where, or it should be high enough to where we'll make it through without scraping anything. So just go really slow. And literally the second we get under the overhang, the road actually slants up like this. So the front wheels ended up going in fine. And then when the road started to turn up, you just heard the top of the van crunch hella loud. And I was like, oh my gosh, stop, stop, stop. Like back out, back out. And so the kid who's driving, who I'm training for the day, he starts trying to back out. And then the part of the truck that ended up bending got latched under the overhang. So it's like this kind of, like this is the overhang. This is the top of the van, like curled up, and they're just grinding together and you can't move it. So we ended up having to pull all the air out of the tires. We had to make sure to completely like pretty much ruin the van. And I hop inside the van and I punch the dents out. Like you could see the dents from the inside because it's just like tin with like a little plastic barrier under to like keep you from hitting your head, I guess. And so I climb in, punch it out, and then right away call up the higher ups and I'm like, hey, there was a situation. We just got in a big crash. Like, van's messed up. It's going to be out of commission for a little while, but we can finish the day. And the following morning when I get to work, my boss starts telling the entire group of like 65 people working that day, like, oh my God, this situation happened. He's cussing, swearing, he's pissed off, talking about how dumb the person who did this was and how they messed up. And I ended up just like walking in front of the group of people and I was like, hey, I'm Terrell. This was me. I ended up doing this. It's 100% my fault. Like, maybe if you hit a tree or you did this, like, don't think it was your fault that he's yelling at everybody about this today. This was on me. And everybody ended up clapping for me. A bunch of people were super, like, embarrassed, started laughing and whatever. But everybody was kind of like, that's real. Nobody would take this nobody would be willing to actually raise their hand and be like, yo, that was my fault. I messed up in this type of way and I'll take full responsibility in front of everybody. And from that point on, a bunch of people rocked with me. Like a bunch of people came up and were like, hey, don't mess up again, but I respect you for actually speaking up. Like, bro, I could literally see your legs shaking. I could tell you were super nervous and afraid of telling everybody, but respect to you for having the nuts to do so. That's something real. That's different. I was just like, yeah, appreciate it. And from that point on, there was a different level of respect that I had gotten from everybody because I was the guy who messed up but admitted to it. And that was something that made me special. That was one of my superpowers because not many people are willing to go that far just to stand on, I know I messed up and that's my fault. I'm going to do better. And so if you want to develop superpowers, build a dream future, create a character who will live in that future, and pick out the specific character traits that give you the superpowers you want. Because every different situation, every different interaction will give you a superpower based on the character you're playing in life. Now, hopefully you got some value out of this and you can completely understand where I'm coming from. But if you can't, well,